Hi guys, here we are, MMA UK News. Obviously, Stoomboy, as always, MMA UK BJJ show. So, still talking about SGI10. SGI10 is going to be Saturday, May the 7th. Going to be the usual place, Maryhill Community Halls. Again, absolutely fantastic venue for anybody that's competed at it, and obviously spectators alike. Now, it's going to be a bit historical this time. Obviously, SGI10, unlike the previous events, as the previous ones, unfortunately didn't have a pay-per-view, but obviously it was building up and building up till we get to this point. So there is going to be pay-per-view available for SGI10. Scottish Grappling have already announced it. So head over to Scottish Grappling, you'll be able to see the details for the pay-per-view there. Tickets obviously available as well. So again, on the Scottish Grappling page, there is a ticket booking site. So head over to that, and you'll be able to book your tickets for the event as well. So, again, I think with it being a council building, I think council still have, or they may have, some rules in place. So potentially there might not be tickets on the door. But again, that'll be announced by Scottish Grappling as we get, or as we go over the next few weeks anyway. All right. So now, card itself, this card's looking absolutely awesome. We've got 3 different parts to it. Obviously building up to obviously the main event, Dominic Dillon versus Kieran Brohan. Some unbelievable matchups in place. Obviously, one of them is going to be my next guest. Obviously, John Carr, Team Crezio, is going to be on the show that night. So, John is always out there. It was always out there competing. Obviously, lockdown, unfortunately, like for everybody else, unfortunately, came along and robbed us of a couple of years of our journey. But as I say, John always loved being out competing. So yeah, it's going to be a pleasure to see him on the SGI stage. So John, listen, absolute honour to speak to you, buddy.
Oh, thanks, mate. Thanks for having me. Cheers.
We were talking about the beard as well. Anybody that knows John pre-lockdown, he was clean shaven, obviously big bushy beard now, and that's staying, John. You said that's
Aye,
staying for a while.
aye. Till I get my black belt. That's
Listen, we love a beard. We definitely, us grapplers love a beard. So,
aye.
what did the family? What's the missus say about the beard?
Oh, it's growing on her. Like she wasn't a fan to begin with. The
Yeah,
kids they thought it was great, but the missus was like, "Nah, that doesn't suit you." But no, she's like, "Ah, you suit it." So
yeah, nice, nice. Do you ever think? Because obviously, me, right? What I do is, obviously, mine comes in grey and all sorts, and every now and again, I dye the beard. Do you know what I
aye.
mean? Has that ever crossed your mind? Ever think about dyeing it a different colour?
Uh, it's been suggested, like with dark brown hair and a ginger beard. It's been suggested many times, but nah, it's just it is how it is. I just embrace it, mate. A
Yeah,
wee bit
yeah,
ginger coming out of me must be a bit Celtic.
yeah, definitely. Listen, that's that Mustang look. That's what I call it. The old Mustang look. Do you know what I mean? Anybody over 30-year-old were Mustangs. So,
Aye,
um, but yeah, every now and again I do. I remember doing it during lockdown, and because I went into lockdown like most of us went in clean shaven, come out a lockdown, and I had what you see at the moment on my face. So, but dyed it a few times during lockdown.
aye. So
So
I've not had to like the ginger hides the grey.
I like it. I like it. And then what about you, John? Obviously, as I mentioned, obviously COVID unfortunately took away a couple of years, year and a half, 2 years of our journey. So what about you now then? How's everything going training wise for yourself?
Aye, great. Honestly, never felt fitter. Just hitting the gym like 5 times a week if I can, and I just doing gi, no gi, wrestling and that.
Yeah,
So I never felt better, and just you feel it in rolling and that, and even competing, being able to compete the last few months and that, and been medaling. It's been decent. It's been
yeah.
good.
Yeah. What was it like going back to the gym? Because obviously having that time out and then going back to the gym, maybe the first few sessions. Because I know a lot of people did do some training. Obviously, I know the kids especially they can train as well. So, but what was it like going back the first few sessions and getting some rolls in?
Well, we got to. I didn't miss too much of the gym. Because I was coaching the kids class,
Yeah,
helping to coach the kids class when they were allowed to train in that in between different what do you call it levels and that. So lockdown,
yeah,
but Going back the first few like proper classes and that, you can yourself, you can run and lift weights and that all day, but it just doesn't. It's not
It's
the
not the
same.
same. Yeah,
The only way to get fit for jiu-jitsu is to do jiu-jitsu.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
so it was. A couple of wee niggles here and there, but still felt good. Like it wasn't as bad at all as what I thought it was going to be for being away for so long.
yeah,
Uh, but like, cause Scotland and that, we never really got to train at all. Like the
yeah.
lockdown was pretty hard. So, especially on jiu-jitsu. So, I it is just the best thing to be back. Like that's, I mean, me and my kids do it, so they managed to get to do it all the way through. So,
Yeah.
uh, getting back to it was a wee bit of jealousy
There
watching
was.
them getting to train and rolling that. I'm like, oh, lucky wee shite.
Yeah, yeah,
Nah, it's brilliant to be back. Love it.
yeah. I remember all the posts going up. I remember obviously like Scottish grappling. There was a lot of posts going up, and when they were talking about the kids jiu-jitsu, saying, "Yeah, kids jiu-jitsu, they're now allowed to do it." And then you had all the blues and the purple and brown belts saying, "Yeah, yeah, we're like 14-year-old. We're going to turn up for the kids comms, so
uh,
or kids classes." So
it was like elite sports, so like it was
yeah,
only elite sports, and it's like, well, we've got elite athletes. Do you know what I mean? And
yeah,
it was just a wee bit like we got left out, but I mean,
yeah,
what can you do? The rules
yeah.
are there, so that's it. But
Listen, one thing it did as well, I mean, obviously, especially for maybe anybody 30 and over, like we're always walking about in agony or we've got niggling pains and whatever. And that little bit of time that we had out, a lot of us came back as close to 100% as
I,
possible and feeling better for it.
I'll say that like any wee niggles or that, you just it was ideal because you just got to rest,
Yeah,
and even like running and lifting and that, it's not the same.
yeah,
Like you're not getting injured. Nobody's arm barring you or something again, or
yeah, yeah.
so.
Uh, listen, it was good little bit of time out. But I mean, that's what I mean. A lot of people did. No, as you mentioned, they were out running or they were out cycling or they were
Uh,
doing other things that we necessarily don't do. Because as you know, jujitsu is a full body workout. I mean,
uh,
everything. I mean, and it works perfectly fine. And we hear a lot of people saying when they do jujitsu, they don't do weight sessions. And do you know what I mean? Because they rely on obviously getting their strength and conditioning through jujitsu. So it gave people a chance to go and try and do other things and which benefited a lot of people, and we're seeing it. I mean, especially when we're seeing competitions now, and you're seeing some of these white belts coming through, and even like some blue belts and stuff like that, and they're absolute savages now than what they were 2 years ago.
uh, it's made the difference, and that people adding different things to their game and that as well. Like folk that maybe couldn't do jiu-jitsu, but they could do wrestling because that was
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean? That's like an elite sports sort of thing. So,
yeah,
I just thought things like that. People add another sort of like feathers to their cap. Do you know what I mean? So, aye,
yeah, yeah,
that way.
yeah. And we're going to see a lot of it on May the 7th. We're going to see a
Aye,
lot of different styles. We've got judo, we've got wrestling, um, we've got some high level judo guys and some high level wrestlers, obviously jiu-jitsu guys, and we're going to see a kind of a big bunch of different martial arts on show that night.
aye. I'm looking forward to it, man. It's a good card, and obviously the judo is always good to watch. Everybody loves the throws and that, so
Yeah,
that's decent. And just styles make fights. You got wrestlers, judo guys, jiu-jitsu, and I
yeah,
just see. I know everybody wants to know what's the top, what's the top one.
definitely. Yeah, we always love to see judo throws. We don't like to be on the end of them, John.
aye, aye, nobody likes it, but
And then, what about you then? Obviously, SGI10. So, how did you find out you were going to be on the card, John?
I just, well, I'm always sort of, I try and compete often, and always sort of throwing my hat in the ring to go to competitions, mostly local and that.
Yeah,
And I'd say Ben had says like, would anybody fancy it? And I've been at him for a while, like, so
mhm,
it would always be good to go and do a show like that.
yeah,
And Aye, so I'd say he'd asked anybody up for it, and he knew I was up for it anyway. I says, aye, I'll do it 100%,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah.
Go and try it. Do you know what I mean? Get
Yeah,
yourself there.
definitely. I'd say the good thing as well is, so it's going to be on. It's going to be on pay-per-view this time as well, which obviously is a lot different. As I said, the events were always fantastic, and then now they're adding in obviously the pay-per-view, so a lot more people are going to see it than previously.
Yeah. Aye, that's going to be good as well, because even people that can't make it and that, family, friends, or whatever, or they can't
Yeah,
make it, I imagine it'll be a sellout. And obviously, most of the tickets are probably going to go to a lot of team members,
yeah,
so the fighters. So people that can't make it, it'll be good. They still get a chance to see it live. So
yeah,
that's a good thing that they've added this year for the 10th
definitely.
anniversary.
Yeah, yeah. It's going to be commentators as well. I'll be commentating. So I'll be I'll be one of the commentating team, and then I'm going to have obviously a sidekick with me, obviously a special guest commentator as well. So which is going to be announced shortly. So which is going to be good. Yeah, it's going to be absolutely brilliant. I'm looking forward to that. Obviously, it'll be the first time I've been commentating, but obviously I've been talking shit on this for the last few years, so it'll come easy to me, John.
No bother, mate. I'm sure, mate. It'll be fine. I'm looking forward to it. Even watching it back, it'll be good. Listening to the
Yeah.
commentators, be like, what's he done that for? What
Well,
the
let's
hell?
hope we're saying good stuff about you, John. Do you know what I
Uh,
mean? Let's hope. Because
uh,
what did that Stoomboy say about me? Do you know what I mean? What did he say? So, but no, it's going to be a great night. It's going to be a great night, as always at SGI. So, and then what's next for you then? So, obviously, SGI going to be one of your main focuses. So, what do you fancy seeing yourself doing this year, John?
well, I've got the nationals coming up. I couldn't do the open, unfortunately, because that was stacked. There
Yeah,
was loads of people at that. I think it met capacity. It looked like it was every bracket was really full. So,
yeah,
but I just couldn't do it with other commitments. So there's the nationals, try to compete as soon as possible. We've got the nationals coming up, and then ideally the sub only. And is it June? June, I think.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
that'll be good. I'd rather do more sub only competitions and matches anyway. It's more, I don't know, it's more my style anyway. I'd rather go for the finish. Everybody
yeah,
likes it, you know what I mean?
yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm always looking for the finish. So
Are
this
you?
could be a T.
Yeah, you do see that. Obviously, looking at your smooth comp there. So I'd say the majority of your fights, as I said, end by submission. Do you know
Uh,
what I mean? So you're always looking for the submission. So and again, obviously having this SGI, I mean, things like that's going to suit you. It's going to be ideal for you. I mean, is that something then? Because I know obviously you've done your local comp, so you've played the points game and stuff like that, and then
yeah.
obviously you got the submission only. So I take it for you then, it's maybe more exciting to do a submission only. Obviously you'll still do the point stuff.
It's just something different. Like it's a total different format as well. The longer rounds in that as well. That's going to be good, and it makes for a better watch. Do you know what I mean? For everybody, can especially folk tuning in on pay per view, it's going to be ideal for them.
Yeah,
But I still, be honest, I still love competing in the gi and that as well. Like
yeah,
they both, like they go hand in hand for me. Like if I'm going to any competition, I'm competing in both
yeah,
and trying to get myself into the absolutes as well. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
As long as I get in early enough. So as I get the early registration, it's not costing me a fortune. I can't go to too many.
Very true. Very
uh,
true.
no, I like them both equally. Like they both have things that appeal to me. Do you know what I mean? But I always like to go for the finish and that, and it's just how I am, eh? Like you say, the smooth comp record and that,
Yeah,
like just want all the finishes. So,
yeah,
I after like say June, um, I've been like not really went down south much, so looking to go down south, maybe compete down there more, and
yeah,
just throw my hat in the ring and see how
yeah,
it comes out. And
yeah.
win, lose or draw, just enjoy it. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely. Smooth comp's good as well because I mean it's something that for us anyway. I mean, obviously I know we're like what you 30, what you 33, 34 year
34.
old. So something for us in like when we were in our 60s and 70s and stuff like that, we can look back and go, That was me. Come and see what Grandad did. This is what we're up to. So, because obviously when you tell the grandkids, I remember, I don't, like, you'll probably be the same, but see what your granda or your granny used to tell you stuff, and you'd be like, oh, I
Aye,
don't
right there.
believe that. And then obviously now we've got the internet, we can prove it, John.
Exactly, mate, exactly. And it's good as well. Like I say, my kids, they compete. They've been doing like the kids league and that, and
Yeah.
both been doing well. They've always competed, so it's good. Like they've got that as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's more great for them, show their pals and whatever. Like,
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu works. It's not a carry on.
It definitely does work. It definitely does work. So, and then final thing for you, John. So obviously you've been in the game for a bit. So obviously you'll have trained with a lot of different people. People have been in and out your journey and things like that. But anybody you want to shout out to? So obviously the usual friends, family members, teammates, anything like that.
I just shout out to all my pals and that. Everybody in East Calder. I was born and raised, so and anybody growing up with. My coaches, Ben Tate, and Lucas Wasselow, and we got guys that I've sort of trained with like since the start, like John Derrick and Michael Gilfeather. We got Owen, Ross, Jake, Roger, Mickey, Taj, Stuart, Big Stuart, Wee Stuart, and
There's always a big Stuart and a wee Stuart. There's always a.
well, it was like Big John Derrick, and me is Big John, Wee John. So, aye, and obviously my family, my wife Melissa, for listening to all the jiu-jitsu stuff for years.
Yeah,
Talking the lugs off her, and both my girls, Abigail and Courtney.
definitely, definitely. I say great gym, great setup you guys have over there. So, so it's always great seeing you guys coming out, yeah, and doing your thing. So obviously kids as well, obviously coming out and doing their thing as well at the recent kids league. So again, put on a really good show for you guys. So so there we go, guys. We're gonna have John Carr, Team Crezio. So May the 7th. So that's Saturday, May the 7th. So we're just about a month away now. So it's going to be Maryhill Community Halls in Glasgow. Now, tickets availability, head over to Scottish Grappling. You'll be able to get your tickets directly through them. For anybody that can't make it on the night, pay-per-view will be available, so make sure you do get your pay-per-view through, again, the Scottish Grappling site. As I say, it's going to be a historic night. There's going to be a lot of different grappling styles on show that night. As we mentioned, judo, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, and whatnot. We're going to see everything on May the 7th. So, John, listen, absolute pleasure to speak to you, buddy.
I appreciate it, mate, and speak soon. I'll see you at SGI10.
Definitely. Listen, enjoy the rest of your training, mate, and I'll see you next month.
Take it easy, mate. Cheers.